Hello, my name is Christina Williams and I'm the Director of Operations for Coach Across America. And this is the Coach Across America Coach Orientation video number 2. And in this video we'll be covering the Coach Contract Part 1. We'll be covering certain components of the Coach Contract, and on your Coach Handbook signature page, found on page 31 of the Coach Handbook, you can sign off on the orientation topic of the Coach Contract. We won't be covering all of the topics and components of the contract. Some of them deserve more in-depth coverage, and we'll get to those in a future video. But in this video, we'll be covering the service term worksheet, the position description, coach benefits, fulfillment of service hours, and the 4 different authorizations that you'll need to sign before beginning your service term. We'll start with the service term worksheet, and this service term worksheet is designed to help define your term of service, and that term of service essentially is the slot type. That's the AmeriCorps jargon for the amount of time you'll be serving. There are 4 different slot types in the Coach Across America program. Full-time, and full-time members will serve 1,700 hours, half-time 900 hours, quarter 450, and minimum 300. This service term worksheet is also designed to help you and your site supervisor determine your rate of living allowance, and that living allowance rate is determined by taking your start date, your service start date, and your service term end date, and dividing it by the number of pay periods that you'll have in your service term. Your site supervisor will walk you through this whole process, so make sure you do sit down with them, especially for this first section of the Coach Contract. The service term worksheet will also allow you to give us a biographical statement, and will express to us that you understand that you meet the minimum requirements and qualifications for service. Next portion of the contract is the position description, and essentially the position description defines your service term, which we just spoke of. It also defines your primary and auxiliary duties, and essentially what this means, your primary duty will be as head or assistant coach of a youth sports team, and then auxiliary duties will include roles such as program assistant, health and nutrition leader, possibly volunteer recruiter. These are duties as assigned by your host supervisor, so make sure you have a detailed conversation before checking any of these boxes with your site supervisor. Additionally, you'll find on this page what you'll gain from your service, and also a list of required documents that you must provide to your host site. These include a copy of your birth certificate, a copy of a picture ID, that's a driver's license or a state ID or your resident alien card, and finally a copy of your social security card or passport. Section 3 of the Coach Contract is Coach Benefits, and the Benefits section explains the benefits that you can expect to receive during your term of service. These benefits include your living allowance, health care for full-time members only, loan forbearance. For those of you who will be applying for loan forbearance, please note that there are 2 important forms that you'll need to fill out: the forbearance request form for national service and the CNCS interest accrual form. Both of these forms can be found in the appendix of the CAA Coach Handbook. And finally, a list of the education award you can expect to receive upon successful completion of your service term. Next portion of the contract is the fulfillment of service hours, Part 4. And each coach must successfully complete the minimum number of hours in their service term in order to be eligible to receive the education award, as well as other benefits. This section also outlines how hours must be served, including a breakdown of service hours. 70% of your time can be spent in direct service, 70% or more, I should say. And direct service will include your primary and auxiliary roles. 20% of your time at maximum can be spent in trainings like this one. Your host site will also be providing trainings to you as well, so make sure you stay under that 20% rate. And then finally, and this is really critical, you can't spend any more than 10% of your time in capacity building roles, and that's duties such as fundraising. So make sure you're really clear with your site supervisor, and if it seems like you're going over those hours in capacity building, make sure you mention that to your site supervisor or to me, the Director of Operations. And finally, this section covers days off. For full-time members, it's 10 days, half 5 days, quarter time 3 days, and minimum time 2. This is vacation and sick leave days. And finally, we have the 4 different authorizations that you must sign in order to serve as a coach in Coach Across America. This includes an FBI fingerprinting authorization, which gives us permission to run your fingerprints, a National Sex Offender Registry, which is an online database which will run your name through, the media release, which authorizes us to use your picture and video, as well as any quotes that you might give to Coach Across America up to us or the corporation. And then finally, the coach contract authorization, which is the page that indicates that you have read, understand, and agree to all the terms and conditions of the coach contract. All of these are really critical pieces of the contract. If you have any questions or concerns about these sections of the coach contract, please contact me. Again, it's Christina Williams. I'm the Director of Operations for Coach Across America. My phone number is 317-755-3393, or you can email me at cwilliams@uptous.org. It's cwilliams@up2us.org. Thanks, and good luck getting things done.